what's actually better, training with machines or free weights? Doing the normal like free weight workout where you're just doing like bench press, pull ups, squats, deadlifts, the things that really just are. So basically, doing the most exercises which you can stand with, right? So for example, deadlift, standing, squatting, shoulder press, and that way your core is always engaged. You're using all the stabilizing muscles in your shoulders. For example, doing like dumbbell press, doing bench press. With that, I personally prefer dumbbells. It's just more freedom with the barbell so straight and like I find it a little bit awkward. But and then with machines, it's all there's no like stabilization worrying. There's not even like the science based. I don't know how I did that, but like like the science based bodybuilder guys will talk about how like your grip is a limiting factor or your core is a limiting factor. I don't know where they get this weird term from. But because if you just use machines and you're just relying on literally just like just pushing for like chest press and you're not trying to grip, you're just doing a lot of this. You're not gonna have like that. You're gonna have all this strength, and then it's gonna be imbalanced with you're gonna have really, really weak grip strength. Like you're gonna shake someone's hand, and then another guy who doesn't even lift weights at all is just a businessman who shakes hands. He's gonna have a stronger grip than you because you just use machines. You see what I'm saying? So and then also like your core is just taken out of it, a lot of it, right? So sitting down right now, if I use my chest press machine, right, seated, my core isn't engaged as much, right? But when you're like, for example, if you're doing an ab exercise, right, like flutter kicks, for example, you feel it straight away, right? Because that's fully your core engaged the whole time, of course, right? And then, for example, something with pull-ups, like a beginner will feel their abs in pull-ups, even. Like when I've been training, I have some clients. I'm a personal trainer as well, and when I've been training some clients, and they tell me like they start with pull-ups, like they built up their strength out with doing bent over rows, that kind of thing, and they're able to start with pull-ups with like the resistant band, assisted band, um, so that way they're able to build the strength, and then they're like, oh, I can feel it in my core, and I'm like, yeah, good, you know and actually, just on that quickly, a lot of people don't even do pull ups the right way. I remember doing it in the gym like probably 3 years ago, um, where I'm trying to just lift myself. I'm trying to just lift myself up. And with that way, you're just using more biceps. Like I showed him. So basically, I was going more. I was like grabbing the bar and just like this, my back just like that, right? But then really, I found it's from like an online trainer or something. I saw him talking about it properly. I can actually just. And then, so the real way really is more like you hang and then you like lock your lats all the way back. So then like hang and then lock it all the way back. So you should feel like the whole of your lats. So you should be like in this position basically on the pull-up bar, and you want your body basically to be like basically you're basically going like this, your body in this shape. You're not trying to like focus on getting your chin over the bar, but you're more like pulling out like that. I'll make a separate video on it, form with push-up, pull-ups, those kind of things. But yeah, and then also with doing just machines, you're a lot more prone to injury. So like I told you, right? Like when you're seated, when you're doing the lat pull down, chest press, yeah, you're building the strength in your back, chest, tricep, shoulders, cool. Cool, but you're not using your core into it, right? So for example, like I remember hearing about this bodybuilder guy who just used machines, just used like the multi gym kind of stuff, lat pull down, chest press, all of that, and he was lifting up his dog, and because he doesn't do any free weight, barely any core exercises probably, he was lifting up his dog and he tore his bicep or something, and with that you might be confused like, oh no, that's his bicep, but that's because like when you're going down like this, you're picking something up. No matter how light it is, your core is engaged. If it's light or heavy, no matter what, your core is engaged. If you don't strengthen your core and you have all these other muscles strengthened, you're gonna injure something, you know. So for example, like the deadlift is a perfect exercise that translates to real life, right? For example, like picking up a sofa, right? I do deadlifts. I don't ever have a problem picking up sofa or picking up or just like picking up very basic thing, picking up groceries from the when your mom comes home from Tesco or something, you help with the bags in the car, right? Like it's a very easy thing. You just pick them up, and like I never feel it in my core or anything, no matter how heavy it is. I mean, groceries aren't so heavy, but yeah, with that, like it's my grip is good from free weights. My core is good. I train core as well. Do like the 10-minute abs, those kind of things. Been experimenting with different kind of things with that recently, but Yeah, and then also your stabilizing muscles, right? Your shoulder stabilizing muscles, which get targeted doing like dumbbell press, right? Because when you're holding the dumbbells up, you're holding them up, right? You're like in this position, and they're very heavy, so you're like controlling it down and then like exploding up, you know. And then with chest press, it's just the same movement the whole time, same movement, same movement. Your seat is like you will have your upper back like pressed against the seat, the natural arch in your lower back, and then you're just focused on that's it, you know, super basic. And hopefully you can't really chat too much, but yeah, it's super basic. Yeah, sure targets your chest well. And also I found that, you know, it's after years of doing free weights, it's not as satisfying like chest press. It's a fun thing I do at the end of like I do like, you know, three, 4 sets of heavy dumbbell press, incline barbell, two maybe 3 sets of that, but like lightweight at like 30 kilo, just repping it out, 15, 20 reps, something like that. And then I do like chest press, like 30 reps of that, pick a lightweight, and then really trying to just have like as minimal rest as possible and complete the 30 reps. And then I found like good progress from that, you know. So it's a nice like fun thing to do at the end, sure, variety, but I'll never have it as like a main thing and only doing like just like chest press and like cables are a bit better because it has some more shoulder stability, absolutely for sure, than like a chest press. But yeah, you don't have the trying to find a word. We'll say skills for now to translate to real life, right? You don't have the muscle adaptivity. We'll say muscle adaptivity. You know, kind of a science word, I guess, but just made it up now. But yeah, you don't have that to translate to real life, right? With like just picking up your dog or picking up a sofa, right? Because all these muscles are strong, and then your core is weak. So, and that can mess up the lower back as well. You know, you're trying to pick up a sofa, you're only used to training machines. But yeah, like look at any boxers, MMA fighters, kickboxers. Like, are they doing a bunch of machines? No, because there needs to be like the way they move is all like it's the hips a lot, the shoulders a lot, head movement. Like it's fast, explosive, right? So for example, Rico Verhoeven, the Glory kickboxing champion, one of the best kickboxers ever, if not the best. He recently fought Usyk, and that was I haven't watched the fight yet, but from what I've heard and what I saw the highlights, Rico should have won that, and it was a bad stoppage anyway. But yeah, he talks about how, and he's a massive guy though. He's 6'5", 260 pounds, 118 kilo, massive guy, right? But he does a lot of his training. It's like, so his resistance training is 3 times a week, about 35 to 45 minutes, I believe he said on Rogan's podcast, and it's a lot of like lightweight stuff, high reps, and very fast, very explosive, right? So for example, even like doing the I don't know it's like this exercise, but you know when you're like kneeling down on a bench, put your hand there, and you're like pulling the dumbbell like that. He does those with the lightweight and go for like I think 18, 20 reps, something like that. And you go to the other side, and it's very minimal rest. And he does something like 22 reps, 20 reps, 22, and then 24. Something to do with fighting and exercise psychologically. I can't remember what it is, but I've seen Eddie Hall does that as well, like shoulder press and different exercises, you know. And that way, you know, he keeps that explosivity. So yeah, he's not doing any machines, that kind of thing. I think he does like pull-ups as well. Yeah, but like not as much. But everything is about being fast, right? Like and what something Eddie Hall noticed when he trained Rico and some other fighters. I'm like talking so much, but yeah, something he noticed is that like their pushing strength isn't that strong, but the pulling strength is really strong, right? The pulling strength is really strong because, for example, right when a boxer will jab or you know Rico will jab in kickboxing like driver it's very fast to throw it back, right? It's like fast to throw it, fast back, so like as fast as it can. So that's why all these muscles are just strong, that strong, right? So yeah, I say we'll leave it here, and yeah, I think free weights is better than doing machines. Translates better to real life. Your core is engaged the whole time. Even if you don't train any core at all, which I don't recommend, do some core always, like at least once a week, at least once, twice a week. But even if you just do free weights without any core training, you'll have some core strength. you have shoulder stability strength that translates to real life with machines. Yeah, you're putting on the muscle, but you're not having functional strength that translates to real life, you know? Kind of ironic, I'm talking about like science bodybuilder guys and I've got glasses on, you know? But I don't even normally wear glasses, but as you've seen in other videos. But yeah, I say we'll leave it there. Agree, disagree, let me know. Love to hear from everyone, and yeah.